So my topic will be today about intentionally and unintentional the creation of Turkestan collection in the Berlin State Library. And in the second half, in the second half of the 19th century, East and West Turkestan arose the interest of Orientals all over the world, and they began traveling there to research the undiscovered languages and cultures of the part of the Silk Road. One classic example of the Orientalist efforts was the four German, Prussian Tufan expeditions sent to East Turkestan between 1902 and 1914. These undertakings primarily aimed to acquire Buddhist and other cultural monuments and written documents from pre-Islamic Central Asia. The Oriental Department of Berlin State Library possesses a good number of Oriental manuscripts and block prints. It also holds numerous photographs and microfilms of Oriental manuscripts from other collections around the world. So at the present, our holdings consist of more than 43,000 manuscripts, as well as over 180,000 microfilms in 140 languages and more than 17 scripts. Among them, 11,800 are in Arabic, 7,700 in Sanskrit, 6,600 in Tibetan, 3,200 in Ottoman Turkish, and 3,100 in Persian. So far we have only talked about the manuscripts and not about the people who brought the manuscripts to the library, right? And their interest. Yeah. So in the paper I will ask about their tasks in the Orient at the time, their interest, and where they mainly collected the Central Asian manuscripts and brought them to Germany. The collection of Chagatai manuscripts consists of approximately 200 items in our library, so which is a small figure compared to the number of other Oriental manuscripts at the library. So the acquisition of these manuscripts took place from the beginning of the 19th to the first half of the 20th century. Only two manuscripts acquired after the Second World War. The manuscripts were brought usually from Orientals, collectors, and missionaries, but in certain cases they were also acquired from a number of antiquaries. Here is a short overview of them. The next slide. Heinrich Friedrich Dietz, a diplomat and Orientalist, was the Prussian ambassador in Istanbul from 1784 to 1791. During his stay there, he collected a multitude of Oriental manuscripts and printed materials. After his death, the Royal Library, as the Berlin State Library was named in those days, acquired his completely private library consisting of 70,000 volumes of books and manuscripts in many different languages. Among them were 9 manuscripts in the Chagatai language, and he acquired them in Turkey. They are almost mostly about the classical literature. The next slide, please. Okay. Martin Hartmann was a famous German Orientalist who acted as chairman of the Tufan Committee. He was regarded as the most famous scholar of Arabic and Islam in Germany at the time. The provincial governor in East Turkestan gave him an official permit for his expedition there, and so he went to Kashgar and Gerkat between 1902 and 1903. His aim was probably to report the present situation there and to collect some written and oral materials among Uyghurs and three Muslims in Kashgar, Yarkand, and Marwar-Bashir, and after that in Samarkand, in Bukhara, and Tashkent. Hartmann made several expeditions into Ottoman territory and the Far East before Central Asia. In 1905, the Berlin State Library acquired its whole Chagatai collection, together with Arabic, Persian, and Chinese manuscripts and printed letters. About 95% of his entire collection comes from Central Asia. Hartmann's predilection for historical themes and religion is evident from the greater number of manuscripts on these topics as compared to those concerning classical literature and medicine. Julius Heinrich Petermann was a professor of Oriental Studies in Berlin from 1952 on. He was sent to the Orient in order to collect Oriental manuscripts several times, which resulted in 2 collections still named after him. So Petermann 1 and Petermann 2. From 1953 to Only at a later date did he extend his collecting activities to other languages, and in 1870 he acquired 3 Chagatai manuscripts. The next one. One of the lesser-known collectors was Gyokut. He is a Tibetologist and Mongolist from Berlin. In 1902, he took part in the first German Turfan expedition to East Turkestan by Albert Gunvedel. Both during this expedition and later, when he spent an additional year in West Turkestan studying Turkic dialects and folklore, he collected manuscripts. After his death in 1906, his wife donated these manuscripts from his estate to the library. The collection consists of 6 Arabic, 15 Chagatai, and 38 Persian manuscripts. The content mainly relates to business, literature, and religion. Beyond the manuscripts mentioned so far, there is also a set of 14 Chagatai manuscripts of unknown origin. I have been unable to find any information about this previous owner of these manuscripts. Almost all of them have the similar format and similar covers, showing a central medallion decorated with floral ornaments and 2 pendants. Given the fact that set of manuscripts from Tashkent or Samarkand or somewhere else in Uzbekistan in the Hartmann collection also has these kinds of covers. These manuscripts may stem from a particular collection in Uzbekistan. The next slide, please. Picture. The collection of Avataranian is a bit different from the others. Johannes Avataranian, born as Mehmet Shukri, was originally a mullah in Turkey. Later on, he converted from Islam to Christianity and became a missionary from the Swedish Mission Covenant Church in Sorsen, Xinjiang from 1892 to 1897. During his stay in Kashgar in Yarkand, he collected some valuable Cherokee manuscripts. The manuscripts from his collection are spread all over the world. The state library only has 2 of them, and they related to classical literature. The next one. The next one is Oscar Bescher. Apart from the collection listed above, there are also other collectors and antiquaries who sold several manuscripts to the library, including Oscar Bescher, as an anthropologist and known as Osman Bescher. And there are also some other collectors such as Sitya, Sirdins, and Ross, Grob, Strasbourg, Kondoswitz, and Motamat, except for Avataranian, Hartmann, and most of the collectors got the manuscripts from Turkey, Iran, or from some other sources. I think that Avataranian and Hartmann and Hood intentionally collect the Chagatai manuscripts by content in East and in West Turkestan, and the other Orientals collect their Chagatai manuscripts together with other manuscripts such as Arabic, Persian, and Ottoman manuscripts in Turkey or in Middle East. There are some other Orientals from Europe. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, here's a statistic. The next one. Now, most of the electronic version of Chagatai manuscripts are available in the Holocaust database, where the 4 major libraries, Berlin, Munich, Erfurt, and Leipzig in Germany, work together with the funding from DFG. The Kalamas Connecting Manuscript Tradition project has been running in the Oriental Department of Berlin State Library since 2020, and it has been completely online available since the beginning of July this year. Kalamas provides direct access to the metadata and digitized copies of Oriental manuscripts collection in Germany. It comprises approximately 135,000 manuscripts datasets from Asian and African script tradition, containing a description of 120,000 physical objects written in more than 160 languages and 80 scripts. In Kalamas, you can either search for a title directly or browse authority reports for over 1,000 mainly Arabic, Persian, and Ottoman Turkish works which are partly linked to the title reports of the Integrated Authority file like GFD and Library of Congress Authority. As an important feature of Calamos is authority control. The portal contains authority reports of authors, copyright copies, owners, and other individuals connected to manuscripts. The mission of Calamos is to provide the metadata and digitized copies of Oriental holdings of all German memory institutions. Now only the data from 4 or 5 German libraries have flowed into the database. Moreover, it aims to enhance international cooperation. Calamos currently already presents collections from Indonesia, Yemen, and Mauritania and Austria. I hope that the manuscripts in Central Asia archives or libraries may eventually be accessible to everyone through the database Calamos in the near future.